The trail was supposed to be my escape, a week-long trek through the dense whispering woods of the Appalachian foothills. Just me, my pack, and the crunch of leaves under my boots. I'd been hiking for 3 days, pushing deeper into the wilderness, feeling the city stress melt away with every mile. That's when I found it. Off the main path, almost completely swallowed by overgrown ivy and gnarled roots, was a small, forgotten clearing. In the center stood a single, weathered stone, no bigger than a shoebox. It wasn't a modern headstone, just a rough, flat slab of granite driven into the earth. There were no markings, no dates, no name. An unmarked grave, miles from anywhere. I felt a strange pull, a morbid curiosity. Who was buried here so alone? A pioneer? A lost traveler? As I circled the stone, my boot nudged something small and smooth. It was a river rock, almost perfectly oval, with a single dark vein running through it like a crack in a porcelain doll's face. It felt oddly warm to the touch, despite the cool autumn air. Without thinking, I slipped it into my pocket. A souvenir. A token from the forgotten. What harm could it do? That night my sleep was riddled with nightmares. I dreamt of scratching sounds, like fingernails dragging on a wooden door, and a woman's faint, mournful sobbing that seemed to come from just outside my tent. I woke up shivering, dismissing it as a side effect of a new, unfamiliar environment. When I got home, the real strangeness began. It started small. The river rock, which I'd placed on my mantelpiece, would move. I'd leave it in the center and find it teetering on the edge as if desperate to fall. Then came the sounds. A soft, weeping noise would drift from the guest room in the dead of night. At first I blamed the old house, the pipes, the wind. But the weeping grew more distinct, more filled with despair. One evening I was making dinner when a cold spot washed over me, so intense it made my teeth chatter. The air grew heavy, thick with the scent of damp earth and decaying leaves. I turned, and for a split second I saw her. A woman, translucent and shimmering in the low light, stood at the end of the hallway. Her dress was tattered from another century, and her face was a mask of sorrow, tears carving paths down her dirt-streaked cheeks. Her eyes, hollow and dark, were fixed on me. Then she was gone. My heart hammered against my ribs. This wasn't just my imagination, this was real. Every night her presence grew stronger. I'd hear her footsteps pacing the upstairs floor. The scratching sound from my dream was now a reality, coming from inside my closet doors. I'd wake up to find my bedroom window wide open, letting in the freezing night air, even though I knew I had locked it. I started losing sleep, then my appetite. I was a ghost in my own home, haunted by another. The weeping was constant now, a soundtrack of unending grief. One night I followed the sound to the guest room. The air was frigid. As I stood in the doorway, the sobbing stopped. On the bed, the blankets were indented as if someone had just been lying there. My gaze fell to the bedside table. My keys, my wallet, and the river rock. It hit me like a physical blow. The rock. It wasn't just a stone. It was an anchor. I had taken something that didn't belong to me. Not from the ground, but from her. It was her only marker. The one thing that tied her memory to this world. And I had stolen it. The atmosphere in the room turned from sorrowful to suffocating. The air crackled with a sudden sharp anger. A whisper like dry leaves skittering across pavement slithered into my ear. Give it back. I didn't need to be told twice. I grabbed the rock, my car keys, and fled the house. I drove for hours back into the mountains, my hands shaking so badly I could barely grip the steering wheel. The sun was rising as I finally found the turnoff for the trail. I didn't hike, I ran. Branches whipped at my face, roots tried to trip me, but I didn't stop. Fear propelled me forward. I found the clearing, the overgrown ivy, the solitary headstone. It looked exactly the same, ancient and lonely. My breath hitched. Standing beside the grave was the woman. She was clearer now, less a shimmer and more a solid form of grief. Her hollow eyes watched me, her expression unchanging. I approached slowly, my hand outstretched, the rock resting on my palm. "I'm sorry," I whispered, my voice trembling. "I'm so sorry. I didn't know. I'm bringing it back." I knelt and placed the rock at the base of the headstone, right where I had found it. As soon as it touched the earth, a long, shuddering sigh seemed to pass through the entire clearing. The oppressive cold lifted. The woman looked down at the rock, then back at me. For the first time, her expression softened, the deep lines of sorrow easing. She gave a faint, almost imperceptible nod, and then, like smoke caught in a sunbeam, she dissolved into the morning mist. I backed away slowly, never taking my eyes off the unmarked grave. I turned and walked, then jogged, then ran all the way back to my car. I never looked back. Some places are meant to be left alone. Some stories are meant to remain untold. And some graves should never, ever be disturbed.